everyone. Welcome back to Chaotic Good Radio. I'm your co host, Kate.
And I'm your co host, Nate, and today we're discussing Sleep Token,
Sleep Token
right? I think both of us can agree one of our favorite bands all time.
is favorite band ever, ever, ever. I don't think any other band has been able to get me quite like Sleep Token does.
I mean, felt it's incredible not just how well thought out the lyrics are or how incredibly difficult and melodic the singing is, but just the lore, the everything, the showmanship. They're quite an incredible band. Nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, so getting into the history of the band just a tiny bit, just like as a gloss over before you dive into the deep history. Sleep Token is known as an alt progressive metal band that started in 2016, and they are a completely anonymous band. So it's kind of in the same vein as like Slipknot and Ghost, and they're quite theatrical, if if it's okay to say that, theatrical.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And I think I've read on on the only interview that they did that they got some inspo from the masks from Slipknot, like how they handled all of that.
Yeah, for sure. They have actually technically done two interviews, if you can
That's
believe it.
that's right. That's right. I forgot about this more recent one.
Yeah. One of the band members did an interview with Drumeo when he was nominated for a
Hmm.
Drumeo award and did the whole
Hmm.
thing. So
Nope, I forgot about that. I was just yeah. He won that too, didn't he?
he did. He won Best Drummer of the Year in 2024, not last year. And I was actually
Right.
a little bit peeved about that. It went to Josh Dunn of 21 Pilots.
I mean, also a good drummer.
Yeah.
Both very talented, but I agree that
Yes.
I would have preferred to
To have it
not.
go to two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So if you want to get into their history a little bit.
Sure. Before I get started, I'm gonna pour me a drink a minute.
Okay. I have my jug. I was actually listening to them on the drive back over here. I mean, not an uncommon thing, but I was listening to some of their older stuff and I was remembering how like intricate and intimate a lot of the sound is for like their original EP albums and whatnot. Bottoms up.
Tastes just like caramel apples. It's delicious.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I mix it
Okay.
with apple flavored water, the
Apple
zero
flavored
sugar.
water.
Yeah, the zero sugar, zero calorie sweetener.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yes. So actually I have a little bit more on the lore and the deep dive of the origins of Sleep and Vessel, less than the years. So
Well,
I was gonna say
I've
you
got
have
like
the dates and I have the.
okay. I see. I see. Okay,
Yeah.
so Sleep Token, and this is straight from the Wikipedia page. So I'm getting my sources this time, so I'm not going to get sued or anything. They're an English rock band formed in London in 2016. Their music has garnered widespread media attention and popularity in recent years due to their esoteric storytelling, vulnerable lyrics, and the inclusion of often two or more genres in their music to create a unique sound. To date, they've released 4 studio albums, 2 EPs, 2 standalone songs, and multiple covers. The band consists of 2 main members known only as Vessel and Two, and 2 touring members known as Three and Four. The members have never revealed their names or identities and prefer to be anonymous. On stage, they conceal themselves with masks, along long robes, and black body paint. Love the body paint.
Yeah, see, if I could look that good without a shirt and some body paint, I'd be doing the exact same thing.
I feel like a lot of people would. be honest. So their first two EPs were titled very simply as One and Two. One, I believe, only has like 3 or 4 tracks on it, and two is
Yeah, it was,
very similar.
yeah, they were both very small.
Yeah, one of their tracks, Thread the Needle, from one was on their set list for their tour last year. It was gorgeous to listen to live because I got to see them in October last year at
Yeah.
the
Still a little
Maverick
bit jealous
Center.
of that one.
My gosh, my boyfriend and I were able to get tickets to the pit and see them, and it was such an ethereal experience. I highly, highly recommend if you're even remotely interested in metal at all, that if you get tickets to Sleep Token, you have to go see them. And that was my second time see them. The first time was actually with you, Nate.
Yeah, that was my first to see them as well. Such an amazing
Yeah.
experience.
We went to the Blue Ridge Rock Fest in Virginia in 2023, right after their album Take Me Back to Eden had come out, and we went
Yep.
with my friend Joey, and it was so crazy. And this is totally sidetracking, by the way, but um
You're good, you're good.
so we get there, we set up the tent and everything, we start walking around and we go see, I think we saw Of Mice and Men first,
Yep,
and
yep, yep.
then Flyleaf was there.
Yeah, that one was a little, we'll just we'll just say disappointing. Yeah, that wasn't good.
That was something else.
Yeah,
Um,
very interesting, that's for sure.
yeah. And then Sleep Token came on stage, and I remember there was a storm that was starting to roll in right as the
Hmm.
band was taking stage and starting to perform. And I'm pretty sure that it started raining when they were playing their song Rain.
Yeah, it was as they were playing the opening music, it started dripping.
Yeah.
That coincidence, I swear to this day, that is one of the craziest coincidences I've ever experienced. Ever in my
Yeah.
life. That was nuts.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that happened on several different stops of their tour that year where there were storms that were coming in or there was lightning striking as they were playing certain chords and it was like all in time. There was a whole bunch of TikToks that I saw about it. But the funny part about it is that I went there for Sleep Token. I saw what I saw. I did what I needed to do and then we left. And come to find out, like most of the festival got rained out afterwards.
Oh yeah, it was, I think we stayed for a couple more bands after them.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyways, but yeah, we got out of there that next morning,
Yeah.
early morning, because it had already been dripping a little bit. And
Yeah.
by what was it? By that same afternoon, they were already closing up the roads. We missed
Yeah.
it, getting stuck in there by hours.
Do you know what else we missed? Papa
Papa
Roach
Roach.
doing a send off as people were leaving the festival. They were just doing a little acoustic impromptu send
Hmm.
off. And I'm like, God damn, we missed it.
Right? Yeah, I saw that as soon as we got back to your place, and I was like, seriously, that was like a half hour ago, and we've been on the road for an hour, hour and a half. We,
Anyway, so backtracking. So I saw them in 2023 with y'all. I saw them last year with my boyfriend. And so they have their EPs 1 and 2. Their first album, Sundowning, came out in hold on, let me check my notes here. It was in 2019. And then they started coming out and releasing their covers. They did a cover of Hey Ya by
my
Outkast.
favorite cover of theirs. I know we'll get to favorite songs in a minute.
That one's a hotly debated one. They also did a cover of I Want to Dance with Somebody by
That
Whitney
one is
Houston.
pretty, yeah, that one's really good too.
And then they did a cover of When the Party's Over by Billie Eilish.
Hmm.
And one of the other covers that they did that is not on that From the Room Below album, I guess, that they did Is It Really You by Loathe. And that one is
I
my
have,
favorite cover.
see, I do have that one on repeat almost daily. I really do.
It's so good.
But I
So
also have
good.
Hey Yeah right there with it.
Yeah, that one's a pretty good one too, I will admit. So Sundowning, their primary like full length album came out in 2019. Their second album was titled This Place Will Become Your Tomb, was released in 2021 with singles such as Alkaline, which was like one of the first videos that they did too. They
Hmm.
also did music videos for The Love You Want and Fall for Me. And I don't think they did any others. I could be wrong. They don't frequently do videos for their songs, which kind of makes me sad a little bit because I like music videos. I like the artistry behind them.
Same, but I do feel like there's some symbolism, especially in some of the more recent ones with like Carmel, for example,
Mm-hmm.
with the flag burning up in the foreground and the every yeah, I'll get to that later.
Yeah, the visualizers are really, really cool, I will
Yeah.
admit. So that one kind of launched the band to a little bit more success, especially because they were gaining popularity from their first album. And then in 2023, they were scheduled to release Take Me Back to Eden. And this is where everybody starts to find out who this band is, of these masked anonymous guys in a rock band. So they
Hmm.
released their first single from that album was Chokehold in January. And then they released The Summoning. And there was a clip of The Summoning that's like a slowed down, jazzy, sexy, saxophone ridden part of the song that people used as a sound clip on TikTok to say, hey, who says that heavy metal can't be baby making music?
I remember that was everywhere.
It really was. That was my introduction to Sleep Token. I'll admit, I fell for
Um,
the cliche. I didn't know who they were before then, but I heard that song and I'm like, this sounds really good. I listened to the whole 7 minute song because that clip is just a minute long of a 7 minute song. And I was like, this is amazing because I love heavy metal to begin with. And so I did a deep dive and I was like, this band this band is phenomenal. How have I not heard of them before? So I went and did a deep dive and listened to everything that they ever put out and then put it in chronological order. And so after The Summoning, which was arguably their most successful single to that
mhm.
point, they released Granite 2 weeks later and then Aqua Regia. And then they started going on tour and had one of the most successful rock tours of 2024 in 2023. Sorry, 2023. And then they started playing at music festivals, and then let's see some awards that they won. They won Best Album of the Year at the Heavy Music Awards. Later that year, on December 12th, the Billboard Music Awards awarded Sleep Token Top Hard Rock Album of 2024. In March 2026, Metal Hammer ranked Take Me Back to Eden as the fourth best metal album of the decade so far, which is pretty high praise coming from Metal Hammer.
That's pretty big, and honestly, they're only growing in popularity. So I can't imagine how much bigger they're going to get in the future.
I mean, they could so easily stop right now and just ride this wave for the next 30 years because a lot of bands do that, but I don't think they're going to. And
No,
speaking as to how like their popularity has grown, so my boyfriend got me a little Sleep Token Rune sticker for my back window, and I have
nice.
actually seen like 5 or 6 of them in my neighborhood now.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah, that's how popular they're getting.
I remember when we went to that music festival, it was tough to find anybody that even knew they existed at that moment. But like now, people I've talked to that have never even liked rock music of any kind. Some friends of mine that have steered clear of any kind of rock music are now just obsessed with these guys too. They're just bringing in people from everywhere. And I don't know what it is that makes them so universally liked, but I do know that everyone I've talked to connects to something about them in a deep emotional way. And I really think that speaks to how thoughtful and purposeful the lyrics and the music is.
Yeah. I mean, there's this famous quote from I want to say it's Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's Where Words Fail, Music Speaks.
Mm, mm,
And that 100% applies to Sleep Token for sure.
mhm.
For sure. So, take me back to Eden. They're riding this high of all of this massive success, and then they kind of take a break for a little bit, and then they start releasing these teasers on TikTok and on YouTube saying, House Viridian and what was the other one? I'm just going to read from the Wikipedia. So,
Yep.
on 19th February 2025, the band released a TikTok video directing people to a website that teased new music. The website depicted Shugborough inscription, which is associated with the painting Et in Arcadia Ego, or Shepherds of Arcadia, a hint to the title of the upcoming album. The website also allowed users to choose a house, initially assigned via email, and could choose either House Viridian or the Feathered Host. On the 27th of February, the band released 2 separate Instagram accounts for the respective houses, to which sheet music was released, hinting at another unreleased song. On the 13th of March in 2025, Sleep Token released a single, Emergence, and announced that their 4th album, Even in Arcadia, was to be released on the 9th of May 2025. Within a week, the single landed on the Billboard Hot 100 after gaining more than 9.9 million plays in the United States, marking the first time the band had landed on a US-based chart. The band had also announced a US arena headlining tour, which was set to commence in September of 2025. On the 4th of April, they released their second single, Caramel. In the lead up to its release, Sleep Token collaborated with North Carolina meteorologist Chris Michaels, who's from Roanoke, by the way.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's from Virginia. Known for incorporating metal references into his forecast to tease the track through a series of cryptic weather segments. It landed at number 34 on Billboard Hot 100 for 1 week after its release and received acclaim from the New York Times writer John Caramanica, placing it atop his 50 Best Songs of 2025 list. On the 25th of April, they released the third single, Damocles. At the 68th Grammy Awards, Emergence was nominated for Best Metal Performance, and Caramel was nominated for Best Rock Song. On the 5th of December last year, they released an official coloring book through UK independent publisher Rock and Roll Coloring. It didn't say anything about it, or at least not that I saw in the Wikipedia page, but something to be noted as well. And actually, let me grab my copy. The band released a graphic novel titled Teeth of God.
Yes, I remember. I almost got it.
I
I'm so
I
glad one of
was
us did.
okay, so funny story. I saw it, I ordered it, and I was waiting for it. This was my Christmas gift to myself because I do that every year because like I don't know, greedy. I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's
I
just
ordered
one
one.
thing a year. You work hard.
I treat myself, damn it.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Anyway, I bought one and I was waiting on it and waiting on it and waiting on it, and I was worried that I had accidentally not ordered it or not paid for it. So I went and ordered another one. So
Oh,
I have 2 copies. So now one of them belongs to my boyfriend, and now I have a copy as well. And it ties into the lore a lot
that's right.
with sleep, with eclipses, with the blood moon, with what's it called? Eldritch horrors and demonic entities and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And the artwork in it is phenomenal. Like, you need a copy. You really need a copy.
You're right. I absolutely do. Speaking of the artwork, everything that they do for not just that, but also for well the album art, the cover art that they do for so many of the different songs that they have, it's all so deliberate. There's just so many different aspects of different deities and various cultures, different languages and runic symbols, just so many things sewn into this one image. It's phenomenal. It's like everything they do is very thought out, very purposeful.
I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get sued for this or not, but just like it's so good. And that's just the last page. But
It, yeah,
there's cryptography in it. There's what's it called? Finding clues within written messages. I think that's cryptography. I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different versions of that.
Yeah. So, segueing from that into the lore behind Sleep Token, behind Vessel, and all that good stuff.
Yes, thank you for setting us up for this so well with the history there, with discussing the various songs and titles and how they release information of upcoming events or new music. That really does lay a good foundation. So I guess let's look at the name itself, right? Even
Mm-hmm.
the name Sleep Token is very purposeful, very meaningful. Sleep is, as we've been discussing, the deity that they are basically worshiping, spreading the word of, and token because their music, their concerts. We'll get into what the band and the fandom calls the concerts in a minute, but just for intro for the concerts, everything is a token or a like a sacrifice, a tribute to the deity Sleep.
An offering.
An offering, yes, an offering.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. It's nice to draw you back in, it's back and forth. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So, Vessel. Well, why is he called Vessel? And it's not just because he wants to hide his true name, which, in more recent music, the lyrics, very, very graphically show that he understands some people have found out his identity, and he's like, no, I'll leave that elsewhere. Anyways, Vessel is called Vessel because he is the prophet, the vessel of sleep. And in later lyrics and some of the music, especially in I'd say not this album, but the two before, both of them before, really showed a deep relationship of sleep almost entirely taking over Vessel, and Vessel not just preaching the word of sleep, but becoming sleep.
Being consumed by sleep or him consuming sleep. I can't remember which way it goes.
Doing a deep dive in the lyrics of Vor, my interpretation was he consumes a piece of sleep, and then sleep consumes him from the inside out.
Okay. Okay. So kind of getting back into the Eldritch horror a little bit.
Exactly, because I mean that is the basis of what sleep is some ancient eldritch terror that existed before the earth existed and is waking back up and wanting to influence whatever beings are on this planet for its own purposes. And it communicates through dreams and nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, the forming of the band actually was because Vessel was given a vision of Sleep in a dream, and Sleep told him that glory, wealth, all of his dreams that he wanted are his if he followed Sleep.
Would you do it?
I mean, there was a point in time where I thought maybe, but if you see throughout the albums, the other end of that, I don't know. I enjoy my peace a lot more than I would like to be, you know,
Would you
basking
go
in the
through
glory.
torture to get fame and glory?
It's pretty much the question. And would you let that torture continue so long as you could continue to stay in that spotlight?
Yeah.
Because as long as you do one, the other is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Pretty much.
And then what do you lose? What are you giving up? Um, if you decide enough is enough. Because is it
Mm-hmm.
just the fame? No, probably not. Is it the income, the money? I mean, if you've got a good head on your shoulders and you understand how to save and invest, no, you'll probably be set for life. So then what is it?
That is like a really good overarching question, I think, for the episode, besides like we love Sleep Token, is that what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve your greatest dreams possible?
Exactly. Um,
And I,
that's a big question that a lot of people in not just music or film or entertainment in general, but in a lot of different careers, you end up sacrificing your home life, your something huge for this
your
singular
body.
achievement.
Yeah. Because, like, with a lot of physical labor work, you're sacrificing your body. And then for other jobs that aren't as labor intensive, you're sacrificing your time, your mental well
Hmm.
being, time with your
Hmm.
family, like you said.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's a really interesting, it's a good question to think about in the long term.
Right. I really do feel like the band reflects not just in the lore of the Eldritch and the everything, but deeper than that, reflects the struggles of most people. You have to choose, and how do you balance between the choices?
And I think a lot of the messaging in their music is having this wonderful, beautiful relationship, whether it was with sleep or with someone else, and understanding that you need to value yourself over a relationship. That no one single thing is worth more than your mental health, than yourself. You can't value people like that over yourself to your detriment, you know?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I feel like in the culture we're in, it's either you have to be completely selfish or you have to give completely everything of yourself until there's nothing left. And there isn't much balance in there, and a lot of their lyrics, even within a singular song, seeing such dynamic changes in between the calm and the high energy or the angry or the happy or the sad. They're so dynamic. They're so not all over the place, but they cover such a wide range of emotions that a person could feel even just a day.
In
Um,
an hour.
yeah, in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's kind of easy to see how and why people enjoy their music so much.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a really good place to kind of veer into. So, about the anonymity of the band and
Yes.
relationships.
Yes.
So, this band specifically wants to be anonymous. And as with Slipknot, as with Ghost and other
Hmm.
bands, it's not for the public to know. They specifically wanted to be anonymous so people would appreciate the music for what it is.
Right, exactly. It doesn't matter who's behind the music. What matters is the music and the message itself.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the identities of the band member were doxxed in January of 2024. And I remember I was at work when I found about this, and I was devastated because not only was it their names, but it was their addresses, their birth
Hmm.
certificates, and it
It was everything, everything.
everything. And one of the band members, three, ended up deleting all of his social media because of it,
Hmm.
because he has a family and he needs to protect his family.
Absolutely.
Um, and I remember all of the discourse that was on Reddit and on the Discord itself
Hmm.
of how disappointed a lot of the fans were because we respect them. We respect their artistry and them as people. And
Okay, so then here's a question I have for you. Then how does the new album come into play?
okay, do you want to hear
Because
my theory?
I do, I really do, because there's so many more upbeat, positive notes in this album than there ever has been in any of the other music.
Okay, this is a theory. So, my personal theory is so Gemma Matthews is married with a family, right?
Hmm.
She moved on after that relationship. So, I have a couple of different ideas as to the lyrics and everything of the songs from Even in Arcadia.
Hmm.
My first theory is that Vessel met someone while he was on tour
Mm.
and was in a really toxic, tumultuous relationship with that person. And that's where we ended up getting songs like Provider and Gethsemane.
Yeah.
My other theory is that because of all of this fame and everything that he achieved, when he went back home to go record, and then they re released all of these songs from Blacklit Canopy, I'm thinking that he reconnected with Gemma at some point, and who knows the dirty details of anything that happened between them, but I think something happened between them that led to some of these other more painful songs of like Gethsemane, because it
Hmm.
was a toxic relationship, because they weren't good for each other, because she was in a relationship already. And yeah, that it's just a theory. Nothing's, proven, set in stone, anything like that. But um
So it could potentially, you're saying, could be an album of a reconnection, a rekindling of an old flame, and then a reemergence into the toxic relationship that had been there, and
yeah.
then the split and the aftermath of that.
Yeah. And then him realizing that he doesn't need to be in a relationship in order to be happy. And then that's kind of where we get Infinite Baths from, is like,
Hmm.
I'm going to keep ascending to these heights that I have never known before, with or without someone by my side, you
Hmm.
know? And the other thing that I kind of wanted to point out is throughout the albums, there's this overarching theme of self harm.
That is true.
And he references a car crash several
Hmm.
times. He references self-harm in the form of cutting, and so like scars on his arms and stuff, which
Hmm.
are actually kind of visible in concert because
Oh, so
sometimes
you think that's a reference to a real problem that he struggles with?
I 100% believe it's a real problem he struggles with, because in Caramel it's like he's talking about, or no, not Caramel. Maybe I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't, or something these scars on my arms are made
Yep.
for, or something like that. But yeah, he talks about self-harm quite a bit, and in concert sometimes the black paint will rub off his arms and
Hmm.
stick to the scars.
Okay.
So you can kind of see the scars a little bit more visibly. And that's the only place that I've seen them. I don't think I've seen them on his chest or abdomen, because he's in a robe, so you can see
Right.
all that's going on under black paint. And that's where the thirst traps come in, is because everybody can see what's going on underneath the black
Yeah.
paint.
Yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing there too. I feel like the costuming was purposeful and he knows his audience quite well.
Yeah. But not to take away from his intelligence, because
No,
he
you
includes so many good references in his music.
well, look at
Oh my God.
Damocles on its own.
Okay, so getting into the fun facts. Um, Damocles, which is like the third to last song on Even in Arcadia,
Hmm.
references the sword of Damocles. And the myth behind that is Damocles was a king's courtier who
Hmm.
envied this king's power so much that the king was like, fine, you want to know what it's like to be king for a day? Go have a seat. He lets the courtier go sit in his throne and then hangs a sword above his head by a single horsetail hair. And he's like, this is representing all of my enemies who want my kingdom, who are always being held at bay by my armies. Are you really sure that you want this? And eventually, Damocles, by the end of the day, said, no, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't like this. This is terrifying.
Hmm.
And in the beginning of Damocles, Vessel is singing, I've been waking up under blue blossom days, or I've been waking up under blades. If only Damocles would hit me back, you know?
Like, hey, tap out for a minute.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
need to breathe a little
Hmm.
bit. So some other references, like I was talking about Gethsemane, which a lot of people who were raised in Christianity are pretty familiar with the Garden of Gethsemane, which
Mm-hmm.
was the
Mm-hmm.
garden that Jesus went to suffer and take on the sins of the world and bled from every pore right
Yep.
before
Bled
he
in
was,
prayer and then was arrested
and then
from.
he was arrested. Yeah. So this just kind of symbolizes like the intense suffering and submission to the will of another person only to be betrayed by them in the end, which
Mm-hmm.
is why I got that theory of like him reconnecting with the past love and then being betrayed by them yet again.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look into the lyrics of Gethsemane, it's so clearly about a very toxic, narcissistic relationship that he has with this person.
Yeah. Well, and look at some of the lyrics of Provider too.
Yeah.
I mean, he sings about how, there's this, like, it's an upbeat feel, like he's so happy to be with this person, but they're also somehow this poisonous spider, despite him wanting only the best for them and want to give them the
Yeah.
best.
It's almost like he is the fly that is caught in the spider's web, and he's like, I will
Exactly.
give my blood, sweat, and tears for
Mm-hmm.
you just
Exactly.
to be loved yet again. Which to me, see, sometimes I think he's singing about his relationship with sleep too.
So, lore wise, I feel like all of the lyrics are based on his relationship with sleep from beginning all the way till currently. I feel like it's describing sleep. But as far as real life influences, I do feel like it is 100%. I don't know if it's referencing a singular person or if it's referencing his pattern of relationships where he keeps getting into abusive relationships. He keeps being used or whatever, and he's willing to do all of this because he just wants somebody to accept him and love him for who he is. So he gives everything and just keeps getting burned.
Which I feel like is something so many of us can relate to.
100%.
So, some of the other references, one that I found to be super interesting and so cool was for their album, This Place Will Become Your Tomb. A lot of the
Ooh,
songs
such a good one.
reference the Atlantic Ocean specifically. I
Hmm.
mean, their first track
The
is
Atlantic
Atlantic.
is.
But on the visualizers for each of the songs, they have artwork of different types of deep water fish
Hmm.
and a depth in meters. And each of those depths are different parts of the Atlantic and I think the Pacific Ocean too, because the very last one is the Marianas Trench and how deep
Hmm.
that is. They've got even like how far deep the Titanic is. They've
Hmm.
got different levels of like the continental shelves and stuff like that. And it's just a continuation going deeper and deeper and deeper into the ocean.
Almost like they're going deeper into the lore of sleep, layering it,
Yeah.
bringing us in closer. And I feel like that's deliberate, just like how the performances, the concerts, the gatherings,
The rituals.
the rituals. Yes, thank you. It's like going to a sermon almost with a pulpit like microphone. Go ahead. Yes, exactly. Um, and the whole thing is an offering of not just music, but of attention, of energy to sleep, to feed sleep's hunger.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was intentional too, with the way that the
Hmm.
band had set everything up. And I've read this really interesting research article this guy wrote about collective effervescence, which
Okay.
is the feeling that people get when they go to concerts and you're all singing along to the same song and you have that hype and you have that, oh my God, this is
Mhm.
amazing kind of feeling.
They
And
capitalize on that so well.
they do, but tying that into the religious aspect of it. They actually base the structure of a few of their songs, Euclid specifically, to
Oh,
sound
yes.
like Christian rock. And if you combine that with you're going to a ritual of Sleep Token to
Mhm.
worship the goddess Sleep, and you're listening to offerings, I mean, it's setting itself up so well to be a cult. And I feel like it
Absolutely.
has almost pretty much reached that point of cult like status. The only things that don't necessarily classify it as such is that they aren't asking a lot of their audience to do anything.
No, I mean, they're just like buy our albums. But
Yeah.
just that's like every other band that's ever existed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, could there be a cult of sleep? I mean, at this point, easily one could form. There's
Yeah.
there's no doubt in my mind that it's a possibility, but I mean, most of their listeners that I have spoken to personally, and this is just anecdotal, but most of the people I've spoken to that are heavy listeners of Sleep Token seem to lean more towards, wanting to know real truth versus falling for something. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so I doubt it would be easy to build it from their fan base, but rather using it as a template on how to build it from their non-fan base.
Yeah. For sure. Let's see, what else do we have here? So another song from This Place Will Become Your Tomb, Alkaline.
Ooh,
Um,
that's
the
probably my
lyrics,
favorite one on that album.
really.
Close. Okay, second favorite. Second favorite.
What's the top one from that album?
Do you wish that you loved me?
That's not on
Nope,
This
that's
Place Will
not
Become
that
Your
one.
Tomb.
Nope, that's the wrong one. You're right. Hold on. I have it right here.
But anyway, yeah, so the pH of water is neither acid nor alkaline. It's basic at 7, which plays into the album is about the ocean and water and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. And backtracking to Euclid, Euclidean geometry is a foundational math system based on the axiomatic plane geometry principles. It focuses on 2 and 3 dimensional shapes to use to find congruence in parallel lines and angles and sums in triangles. And so when he's talking about Euclid, I think it's in reference to finding a parallel to the journey that he has been on with sleep.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And with the album Take Me Back to Eden, I mean, we're all very familiar with the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve and the original sin and all of that.
Hmm.
And so it feels like with sundowning, the sun's going down, he's entering nighttime, and then the second album, he's descending into the ocean, and then Take Me Back to Eden, I feel like is the final spot where he's finally consumed by sleep and is ascending to Eden, which is like the next spot on the journey.
Right.
But like with even in Arcadia, Arcadia is the Greek word for paradise.
That's
And
true.
I love how the title of the album being even in Arcadia saying like even though he is in paradise, he is still suffering.
Hmm.
Even though he has everything he could possibly want, he is still
Miserable.
depressed.
Yeah.
So another really cool science reference in one of his lyrics for Emergent is my carbide and your nano. Nano carbide is a bonding method to bond and strengthen materials. So
Hmm.
when he's talking about in my carbide and my nano, are you going to basically break apart this relationship? Because you use carbide to break up
Oh, right. Got it.
nanoparticles. Yeah. And one of my favorites, my personal favorites
Mhm.
of, sorry, there's a fly,
Get that fly.
is aqua regia is
Yeah.
a chemical element that is used to dissolve gold. And in the song Chokehold, he's referencing building walls of gold in order to
Hmm.
keep his love safe. And then Aqua Regia is breaking down all of those walls all over again. And one really cool quote that I found from Reddit, this guy was saying that his girlfriend had said this, and she said, "You can't make caramel when it rains because the sugar will absorb too much moisture and it won't set properly."
Mm-hmm.
And Sleep Token has songs that are titled Caramel, Rain, and Sugar. So, to finish off the episode, I think, let's go over our ratings of different Sleep Token songs.
Absolutely. Do we want to go favorite per album or favorite overall? First of all.
I was going to go through my whole list.
Oh, let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay, so like I do one, you do this, you do the same category. Okay.
Right.
So their most underrated song. My personal favorite that's underrated that is not popular like in the least, and it was released on their From the Room Below album, which was just like a private recording session that they did. It's titled Shelter.
I do enjoy that one quite a bit as well, but it isn't quite my favorite.
For
Jericho,
underrated.
right, for my underrated. Jericho is probably my favorite underrated.
Yeah, that's a good one too that not a lot of people talk about. That one's from One, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah.
And the imagery is just, even with just the name itself, you know, the walls come crumbling down kind of thing, and that's how they're starting. It's powerful.
So many biblical references. So many biblical references. I think Jericho's from 2 because it's Calcutta, Nazareth, and Jericho are on 2. And then When the Bow Breaks and Thread the Needle are from 1.
Okay.
So what is their most overrated song?
Their most overrated, and I hate to say this because I will probably get torn apart in the comments about this. Offering is probably their most overrated song. See, yep, there you go. It has been so overly sexualized so many different ways. I've heard it in so many different remixes and everything. I can't with it anymore.
Okay, I love your name, but you're wrong.
See, I don't even have to wait for the comments. I'll just get torn apart right here.
Their most overrated song is The Summoning.
Ooh, okay.
The one that everybody got onto like in the beginning of 2023.
Oh,
and
sure.
So overplayed.
I mean,
especially the breakdown right before that second bridge. Yeah.
I was on a lot of TikToks.
It was. And it was on so many thirst traps. And it got to the point where it was like the Book Talk album, or not album, anthem that year.
See, I didn't get very many thirst traps coming across my feed at the time, so I didn't see a lot of that.
Well, I guess that shows you what was on my algorithm.
Honestly, most of mine is cooking stuff.
Oh my God. You're just too wholesome for your own good.
You're not the first person to say that.
Okay. Their heaviest song.
Vor. Easy Vor.
Not Gods.
I mean,
that's the only song they dropped the F-bomb in.
It is, but the overall message and the deepness of the screaming in Vor, I mean, it gets real heavy, real dark.
So I thought that Vor was about something else entirely upon listening to it for the first few times.
What did you think it was?
Well, I will let you kind of come to your own conclusions, but the lyrics, let's get swallowed whole. That's kind of what I thought it was about at first. And then I went back and read the lyrics and realized, no, it's not. But I don't think it's that heavy of it. Like, it is a heavy song. It is one of their more heavy metal songs. But I think Gods hits a hell of a lot harder just because of how emo it is. It
is one of their, not the most emo song they have, I think, but it is up there.
I think I actually have that coming up here in a minute, is their most emo song. But
I know we're both going to disagree on that one too.
Probably not. I don't think so.
No? Okay.
So the song that people get the most hyped about.
Honestly, for me, It's one of their more recent songs. If I hear Damocles or Caramel coming on, I don't know why. I don't know. I just vibe with the feel so well. I mean, I get everything in my house clean the minute those come on. Just every time I'm like, "Ooh, I got energy. Okay, let's do this."
For sure. That's fair. And see, when I went to the concert in October, the one song that I like, obviously the new ones are gonna have a lot of hype about them because they're the new
Mhm.
songs, but the old song that a lot of people are still like about was The Offering.
Yeah, I'm yes,
Because you start to
definitely.
hear the opening chords of do 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 do, and everybody lost their shit.
For real, like you lock in though. Like anywhere you go, if there's any Sleep Token fans, you play those first four notes. Everybody is going to know what's going on. Everyone's gonna turn, where is that sound coming from? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so next up is their most emo song.
Do you wish that you loved me?
Okay, I guess we're gonna disagree on that one.
See it? Yep.
Bloodsport.
That one does go pretty hard too. And I get it, I get it, but do you wish that you love me? I feel like the whole theme is hating oneself and wishing that they could love themselves instead. And what is more emo than that?
Fair. Fair, fair. I don't know. I feel like committing to someone to the point of spilling blood is pretty emo.
I I mean, yeah, you're not
Yeah,
wrong. But I'm gonna have to say, in my opinion, it's got to be a close tie.
fair.
But you know what? Let's see. Let's see this. Let us know in the comments down below. What do you guys think? Which one is your favorite, most emo song of Sleep Token? Let's kind of take a vote and see what people say.
Fair. And I'd be very interested to know what the most over and underrated ones are too, because those tend to be like more personal favorites of people's and then the ones that they're just like, come on.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the next category is their most genius song. Which one is the most like cleverly written? The song itself, the lyrics, the music, the production value, all of the above. What is their most genius song? And mine is going to be kind of controversial, but it's a personal opinion.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Fall for me.
This is where we're
Because
gonna have to agree because I that is also mine. I mean, I'm a very visual thinker.
okay.
So when he's going through the lyrics of Fall for Me, I'm seeing the kind of like imagining the visuals of what that would look like just all the way through start to finish. And honestly, it's the most beautifully written songs that I have ever heard from them. Almost the most beautifully written song that I've ever heard, period.
Fair. That's fair. The reason that I chose it was because of its simplicity. It is just Vessel and a vocoder.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So I'm a little bit of a fan of Imogen Heap
Okay.
and her song. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to look this up real quick because I Hide and Seek. There we go. Came to me.
Okay.
Um, yeah, her song Hide and Seek being an inspiration for a lot of other pop songs back in its day, and then to
Yeah.
hear someone use a vocoder in the exact same fashion that she did was just like, oh, wow. And I like that you can create a piece of art from almost nothing and keep it as simple as possible and it still be really beautiful.
Yeah, there's something so pure about
Yeah.
the lyrics, about how it was created, the sound, everything. It's just very, I don't know, it's not basic, but it's beautiful partly because of its simplicity.
Yes. Yes, that's why I think it's one of their most genius songs. Okay,
Agreed.
best chorus.
Caramel, hands down.
Hmm. You seem it's blah, blah, blah. It's seeming like you're a really you're a bigger fan of their most recent album compared to their older stuff.
With a few exceptions.
Okay.
The last album is my favorite album. Not this current one. The last one is my favorite album. I feel
Okay.
storyline wise, like if you look at it from first song to last song, I don't it like as a whole, it feels like an entire book
It feels like
that
the
you're
end of a
listening to.
trilogy. It really,
Exactly.
really does. And that the
Exactly.
most recent album was just an epilogue
Yes.
almost.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I have two because this one was really hard for me to pick. The Night Does Not Belong to God.
See, I love that one for so many other different reasons.
Yeah. Um I let me look up because it's like the night comes down like heaven
The night.
and it's repeated so frequently and in the same tone until it starts to build and build and build. And then the whites of your eyes turn black in the low light. In turning divine, we tangle endlessly. And that is the first song on their first full-length album. And they did a callback to those lyrics in the last song of the
Mm-hmm.
trilogy in
Mm-hmm.
Euclid. The whites of your eyes turn black in the low light. And it's like the night came down and it finished, and now he's finally seeing the sunlight again. And then the other one that I thought was just the chorus, Jaws.
Okay, yes. Jaws has such an iconic chorus. And the imagery too in that one is so vivid.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was like, show me those pretty
Pretty
white
white
jaws.
jaws. Show me where the
Show me where
delicate
the delicate
stops
stops. Show me what you've lost.
and why you're always taking it slow.
Yeah.
Show me all the wounds you've got. Show me love.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I had that one on repeat for about 3 months.
I understand that. I feel like everybody doesn't just want, but has that almost need to have someone in their life that can be like that, but still be safe.
And see, in my head, I was totally picturing myself throttling someone by the neck saying, come on, be vulnerable with me, god damn it.
Yeah,
The song says to me.
yeah, wanting that vulnerability with somebody, but mutual vulnerability, I think.
Yes.
I mean, that's a need that, at least on some level, nearly every person, I believe, ever has had. And that's too why I like the previous song you were talking about, because, part of the lyrics, diamonds in the trees, pentagrams in the night skies. Yes. It's like, there are answers that are out there beyond you. And there's pretty things to distract you that are close by.
Mhm.
So it's like presenting that option. Which are you going to choose?
Yeah. And it's like when you see signs, are you going to be able to pay attention to them?
Exactly. Or are you distracted by all the diamonds in the
By the
trees?
pretty things.
Yep.
Okay, next category, your most skipped song. Because I know there's a few for me that are
Mm,
on like This Place Will Become Your Tomb. I'm sorry, that one is not my favorite,
that's fair.
but it isn't they don't have my most skipped song.
Oh, really? What does? What does?
Past Self.
Really?
Yes.
Why? I love that one.
And this might be because of a personal association, but so the intro and part of the outro and chorus has a callback to the theme from Zelda.
I absolutely love the amount of nerding out that I did the first time I heard that, because like I listened to it like the hour it dropped.
Yeah.
And I just flipped out. I was like, he's a nerd too.
Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of video game references in the artwork and in the lyrics throughout the songs, but I
Yes.
skip that one a lot because I'm not a big fan of that intro. And granted, I never played the Zelda games. So it's not a
Okay.
positive association for me. And then my ex said that that was their favorite song. And so it just kind of ruined it a little bit for me. And so I don't play it very often.
That's fair. I understand that then. I grew up playing Zelda, like the original Zelda, like on Game Boy before there was color. It was all just black and white. Like OG Zelda. And I followed Zelda all the way up through Breath of the Wild. I haven't got the one after that.
Yeah.
Huge Zelda fan, so that one really kind of always gets played. Like every time it pops up, it's like, oh yeah. My most skipped is Do You Wish That You Loved Me? And not because of the song itself. I absolutely love the song, but it just reminds me of a very painful time in my life. So I don't always like to look back on that. So that's more of personal reasons than actually enjoying the song.
Fair. Another one that I tend to kind of skip over is like that
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I
because
would
it's
agree with that one.
such a weird offbeat of the whole song. And don't get me wrong, it's a good song and I like the lyrics and everything, and it totally reminds me of Queen of the Damned. But like it's just kind of hard to get into with such an irregular rhythm in it.
Yeah, it's very jazzy, but like not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah, because like I remember when we went to go see Sleep Token and they had that
Hmm.
as like the second or third song, and I was like, come on, I want to jam out. I don't want to be like
Right,
waiting for the next song to come up.
right. Their opening for that though, they couldn't have picked a better song to open with at that time.
Chokehold? Absolutely.
Soon
Yes.
as soon as that first chord started ringing out, it was pandemonium. Like
Yeah.
everybody was going insane.
Yeah.
Even people that were waiting at a different stage for
Game over.
Motionless in White all of a sudden started migrating over the second that started playing. Like it just
Hmm.
took over the whole
The
uh
field. Yeah. And the opener that they did for their most recent tour was Look to Windward, which is the first song on their most
oh,
recent
okay.
album. But where it has such a low piano intro, they opened up these like boxes above the balcony of
Hmm.
everything and started dropping down paper feather or not feathers, rose petals onto the audience.
Oh.
And then they started blowing the fans so that it would go everywhere. So
Whoa.
Windward is playing, these rose petals are falling down. The entire stage is covered up with a curtain that just has the Sleep Token emblem on it. And then when the beat drops and like the bass starts playing, the
Hmm.
curtain
Hmm.
dropped and then you can see the entire set, which looks like castle ruins with a waterfall in it.
Oh my gosh, I wish I was there.
It was amazing. The production value of their concert skyrocketed and they hit home runs with that baby. It was so good.
I swear there's a lot of parallels that can be drawn from how when Kiss was new on the scene, how they revolutionized a rock concert. Sleep Token is doing the exact same thing, but in a whole other direction, and it's more like high end like musicals, like plays like Broadway
Hmm.
kind of sets,
Like I
and
said, theatrical.
yeah, exactly, and it's incredible to see the direction they're going.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really, really hope that they continue to put out album after album. But I also, as a fan, I want them to be able to enjoy what they're doing for work as well. Um, because you can tell when an artist loves being an artist, you can tell.
Yeah.
When they're doing it just because they're contractually obligated, that's also really easy to tell.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see that happen to such an amazing band.
Yeah. I don't think that it will. They signed to RCA Records right before they released Take Me Back to Eden,
Hmm.
which drastically improved the production value that they already had and the sound and everything. And then when they released Even in
Hmm.
Arcadia, it just continues to go up, but it also seems like the band is really enjoying their success right now.
That's good. Yeah, and some of the lyrics hint to that too in their latest album. They really do like where they are at, but they
Hmm.
don't necessarily like all of the fan interactions.
Yeah, some of the more negative sides of it. So,
Exactly.
next category is another personal one is your most played songs.
Ooh, boy, that is a tough one. I think Fall for Me would probably have to be it.
Mine is a tie, and I had to reference my Apple Music for this one. It is a tie between Do You Wish That You Love Me and Damocles
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Yes. Anybody that knows you understands those reasons.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've had it rough too, and then
So the next
welcome to the
one
club, I guess.
is their best cover.
Hey yeah, hands down, hey yeah, for me.
And see, I think Is It Really You?
That one is beautiful, and every time it comes on, I do stop whatever it is I'm doing, and I have to just soak in the sound, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And listening to the original and knowing that Loathe co-produced that cover was like, yeah,
I did not know that.
it's a really
Okay.
cool, neat little tidbit. Okay, best music video.
Boy, that's tough. You know, I'm not really sure on that one. That is hard to decide.
Okay.
There's a few really good ones that just,
Yeah.
boy, I don't know.
I picked Jaws because
Okay.
that one was a continuation, actually, of the lyrics from Nazareth
That's fair. Yeah, that's true.
and also led into a little bit of Sugar on the next
Okay.
album. So
Yep.
it was a storyline and just a theory though that it's about a prostitute that is abused by her pimp. And Jaws was kind of like the contentious relationship between the two of them. And there was a lot of weird things going on in the music video, but I think just for the artistic value alone, I think it was my favorite.
Okay.
But a
That's
runner
fair.
up for sure would be Fall for Me.
That is such a good one.
It's a painful one too.
Yeah. The fractals and everything in that one really, I mean, they speak volumes even though it's simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Best breakdown of like the heavy guitar
Mm-hmm.
and everything.
Mm-hmm. Levitate.
Does that one have like a heavy guitar breakdown in it?
I believe so. The line, "Oh God, I wish you were here."
That's not from Levitate.
What is that one? Sorry, I am on.
I'm pretty sure that's from Fall for Me.
That is Fall for Me. Yes, you're right. That is. So then, yes, that would be it too. You are
Okay.
right.
I was thinking the ending of Infinite Baths.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Just the okay, so albums. Like let's leave the EPs out of it and let's just do the four. So like number,
Okay.
like 4 to
One.
1
Yep. Definitely take me back to Eden
as number one or the
as
number
number
four.
one.
Okay. Same. Same.
All right,
Two,
what's your number two?
even in Arcadia.
Honestly, that's probably gonna be my number three. This place will be my tomb is number two for me.
Okay. Okay. Number three, you just said even in Arcadia. Mine would be
Yep.
Sundowning.
Okay.
And then this place will become your tomb as number four for me.
And yeah, and then Sundowning for me.
Interesting. That you like place will become your tomb more than Sundowning.
I connect with the messages in this one quite a bit.
Mm,
But again, coming from the background that I do have, it's just the song "The Love You Want" really gets me. Like I tear up every time that one comes on.
yeah. I liked the music video for that one too. That
That
one
is a
was
good.
really artistic.
I would agree with that.
All right. Do you have like an overall best song ever for them?
Yeah, that would be my best. The one I just mentioned.
The Love You Want?
I'm still, yep, the love you want.
Mm,
I went through a couple of years where that was pretty much my life theme song, so it
I
kind of
feel
fit
that.
really well.
I honestly think, and it's going to be a tie, and it's going to be the most cliche tie out
Oh,
there. Take Me Back to Eden or
yep,
Euclid.
yep.
Yeah.
A lot of I feel like a lot of fans have those as some of their favorites, if not the
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let us know your list in the comments below. Yeah, and any other fun little tidbits or knowledge that you guys have, please feel free to share. We love to hear from all of you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Have a good one.
Bye.